Doc? What's going on, boss?
Ain't like no damn clothes.
Huh? Appreciate it. What's going on, everybody? I'm good.
You brought the suit?
Yeah.
You look like it too, nigga.
You did two? Just two? I'm gonna talk to this one. What's up, everybody? Welterweight podcast. Pre-fight show at the Barbershop. We at DK's Barbershop in Ventura. The man himself, Doc, owner and operator, owner proprietor of this here establishment.
Yeah, that's been in the community for a long time, man.
That's what's up.
We out here, man.
Yep. Cutting with no cord. Where the cord at?
It's over,
No
man.
cords no more, huh?
Your barber got a cord, move on.
Yeah. You got a head itcher, so go on and get with that. Y'all know how we do when we come to the shop. It's just all about what y'all got going on, you know what I mean? So, it's whatever, man. We got Kevin Tate up in here.
Hey, you do know that, man. Right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Showtime, nigga.
Man, how long? We've been knowing each other for a minute, man. It's been
Man,
five years or
5 or
so.
6 years, man.
Yeah.
It don't take long for real to connect, you know?
Then we reconnected at the softball game.
Yeah.
He was balling out.
That's what he do.
Yeah, every time I see you.
I heard you was striking out.
No. I don't even know if I'm bad. I did. I struck out, and I was like, I'm done.
Like, yo, he's checked though, man. He's doing it.
I was nervous as hell, man. I'm out of my element. You know what I mean? Baseball is not my element at all.
It's LAPD, right?
Yeah.
It's police.
Yeah, no, they be y'all be out, man. Y'all be active too.
Yeah. So I seen you there, and then we reconnected. And so coming here, I was thinking like, you know, who do you get to come up to the shop? And then he happened to mention that you came up here. So I texted him. I said, don't worry about it. I texted him. I know he'll show up. So appreciate you for coming through.
Too easy.
Easy call. Nah, because I was going to hit him. You know, he played on our Doe League team, and that's our Kobe. We call him Kobe, Michael. We call him Kobe, Michael, LeBron, Russell.
Okay.
Abdul-Jabbar.
All that. It wasn't even done. It wasn't even done.
My legs feel like Jabbar.
Yeah.
All this shit.
Yeah.
Still get a fuck.
Nah, we be out there gunning though, man. Yeah. So shit, you about to get it popping, man.
Let's see what happens, man. I'll be back with some. Marcus Watson, everybody. I know they know the voice by now.
I know what it is.
You don't say too much on TV though.
Nah, not really.
Yeah.
You had your little show
Monday.
on.
Oh, yeah,
What's
yeah,
about
yeah.
Good Music Monday?
Music
Yeah.
Monday, yeah. Shout out to our brothers, both of
Y'all gotta check him out on there though, man.
When's the last time you did that?
Man, so I'm gonna get back.
Yeah, get back. That was a pandemic type of work. You said, oh, let me get busy.
Play a song for you?
Huh?
Like what song did you pick when you came on?
You know what? You know what? I always have. I never really officially been on because I always check in with him. He come on my show sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Zodiac show, but he be lit every Monday. It's a line, man. You gotta kind of just hold out till he gets to you.
Speaking of that, yeah, I don't know, the Zodiac show, y'all might have tapped in before every night. That's hard to do too. He do it like them every night and
Every night?
just
Yeah.
different topics and then you just
On Instagram?
Yeah, this was back when Instagram, when everybody, when the pandemic hit, everybody was twerking and shit and doing all type of music and shit. You know, I started opening up relationship courses. Man, I did that shit like 400 nights in a row, bro.
yeah.
Wow.
Like 400 nights from 8 to 12.
Kept the vibe.
You know what I'm saying? So I still tap
4
on.
hours?
4 hours, man. 8 to 12. Sometimes over. I mean, it was the pandemic. What am I doing?
Yeah. You was doing that before Kevin Samuels.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know who he was. But you know what's crazy? The type of shit he talk about, I do it with more funny, you know, and I give people a chance to talk. You know what? Why he be on there all day? You know what it is. So, yeah, but then now everybody got a show. Everybody want to know everything. Everybody want to sit down and talk. So I'm always about that space. But yeah, Music Mondays.
You still doing it?
Yeah, I still do. I don't get to do as much because the world back open. So, you know, traveling and shit. You know what I mean?
Working.
Yeah, but every now and then I tap in shit.
Outdoors.
I don't know if you seen this, y'all just seen him in like out the country with Barack Obama's daughters chilling.
Woo!
Yeah,
Man, we was on Vine, man. Nah, but we was in LA. Yeah,
All I know is your phone hot.
Yeah.
It says tap now.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I can't get a Chick-fil-A, man, without a white truck. But yeah, nah, man, it's always good. Relationships is everything.
Hey, so for my audience, Kevin Tate,
Yeah.
you are a comedian.
Absolutely.
So for anybody out there that don't know, I first seen you on Def Jam.
Oh shit.
You know you
Yeah,
popped
yeah.
right after that dap jam.
Yeah.
Don't front on me.
Yeah.
And so when I met you, I knew who he was from Def Jam. You know what I mean? So
which was crazy because when you spoke to me, he spoke to me kind of like real chill. I'm like, oh, you know who you is though?
Oh no, it didn't matter.
Hey, look, nah, he took me up to the. You remember we went up to the boxing ring? We went to the boxing ring.
Yeah.
And we started shadow boxing and shit. I'm like this, man. He threw a couple fakes. I tapped him one time, jumped over the top.
When I was in my prime. When I was in my prime. What are you doing now?
Man, you know what? I'm on the road, man. I'm headed to Atlanta, man. I'm about to shoot my special. You know, I could have stayed single tour.
Okay.
I'm finally shooting that. I got some people involved in that, man. So that's just what's next to me besides touring and stuff like that. Yeah,
I could have stayed single.
I could have stayed
So
single.
what's that stem from?
Well, pretty much it's just like I don't play that extra shit. If I'm in a relationship, don't say shit to my girl, bro. Like I could, you know what I mean? Like I could have been single. If I'm gonna let you
Flip
there,
the switch though. What's that about? Hey man, I'll play that blue
I
jam.
don't play that extra shit. You know, I could be out here single if I'm gonna have a woman that's for everybody, basically. Yeah, that's what it's about, man.
It's safe to say you ain't single.
Yeah, no, I ain't single at all, man. But at the same time, though, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. And that's what's next on the agenda.
Hey Kevin, you trusting Uber yet?
Am I trusting Uber?
Eats?
Not Uber Eats. Not Uber Eats. Them motherfuckers eat your fries, man. Ship your drink. They make your drink and shit. I don't make my drink, guys. Let the people take it down. But nah, I don't want that.
They'll drop your drink off, your food off, say, man, this shit look good.
Man,
you know it's supposed to be sealed.
I need to be sealed bag all crumbled up. I don't even like my McDonald's bag wrinkled. Really.
What you can't say,
I like one fold in my bag. Why my little McDonald's bag balled up? You've been in my shit 2 times.
You gonna eat somebody French fries just on half.
Bro, man, what you
I feel like he really want to be an Uber Eats driver, so he can do everything he's talking about. See, he done had these thoughts. That's
I
why.
smoke too many blunts. You drive Uber. I mean, ate your little Chick-fil-A, your little Panda Express. Anytime you use somebody pork to eat their food, nigga, you if you don't use the pork, you got some and try to put it back, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Nah, man, that's no.
Hey Don, tell us about the shop. How long you been in here?
12 years. Me and my brother started. I'm the D, he the K.
There you go. Shout out to Kenan. That's my bro Kenan.
It's been 12 years.
Might be a little more.
It might be
Probably
more
more,
now.
yeah.
Every other day.
Time fly, bro.
Oh, but this shop has always been steady though. Y'all keep it steady. Doc and Kid, it be the most ratchet shit going on in here, man. Kids be running around too. I don't know nothing stop nothing in here, man. Might be coloring and they be backing over there, but it's a home type shop, man. It's always a real atmosphere, man.
Family shop. My daughter work here, mom work here, brother work here. You know, so it's like we don't really need nobody.
And you feel it too when you come in.
Listen.
You can leave.
Y'all don't hire no other barbers?
Oh yeah, this is hard. That's how I get my clientele. I hire barbers with bad skills. Bad business skills.
What you say, Sean?
Not barber skills, business skills.
So you cleared your schedule? You just cooling now.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been working all morning though.
They be in here early, yeah, for real. That's what I know.
I'm here at 7:30.
Early. Doc stay in here.
Who else coming over here?
Shit, Stevie Wonder, Bobby Brown.
Yeah, Bobby.
It don't matter what kind of cut you give Stevie Wonder, though, right?
Nah, I was here one time. I was here. He cut
Some
Stevie.
mustache.
He trimmed the dude's dread, one of the dreads, and said that'll be $100. Coming to America.
He just turned the clippers on and he's sitting watching TV. Stevie hit the clippers, you don't know what's going
When
on.
Stevie come in here and walk to the bathroom.
Up, and you move your hand, he looking at you?
One time he walked by my brother, he did like that.
I knew I'd catch you.
He knew he was gonna count him out.
Right.
What's shit? It's about any and everybody, man. Ain't no telling.
Why did they come in?
You know, you got hand in hand. Feel me?
The hand and I'm gonna touch on it too. Just the me personally, I come from the hand for sure, but also just the genuineness. Like I love him, I love his family, his wife, you know, his his daughters, all of them.
I can't be fake with all this family.
Yeah, he just shoot it straight. If you want some advice or something, holla at Doc. That's his name. Holla at Doc, ain't it?
Yeah, holla at me, man.
It's always
You too, bro. Come holla at me.
Easy call.
You good? You need to get cut? I got it. If you need to get, you gotta get straight. I got you.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, you know, I'm off right now, so my I touched 3,700.
Hey, I got him.
Go ahead, knock him off. 30.
Listen, I've been cutting him for years. He can do it.
Nah, you got it, D.O.
Like you gonna cover or what? What you gonna do with that perm you got there?
I want to ask that again. Yo, hey, Doc, because I want to know, because you ever did a podcast before? Had a chance to come get down on podcast before?
Nah.
No, you never really sat down and did podcast. Interests in space. Now, I want to know what you think about the podcast space. What interests you in this space?
I got interested in doing this because the show that I was doing for Fox ended. And I had so much fun doing it. And I felt like I was on a roll with getting experience. I literally did not want it to stop.
Right.
So the pandemic stopped everything for everybody. Right. And I really just continued to move through the pandemic. I got a certification to do life coaching. And then along the way, I had started the podcast. And basically, for me, it was, I went out and got all this equipment because I thought we were going to be doing the inside the PBC boxing show from home.
Yeah.
I thought I'd be just camera in front of me, and we'd be doing exactly what we do in the studio, but we'd be doing it at home. Get Up started doing it, and all those other shows started doing it. And once I was told that my show was ended, I said, nah, I don't want it to end. I want it to end. So I looked at all the equipment I already got.
Yeah.
And my guy right there, and my guy right there, I hit him up. I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. I want y'all to be with me. What you think? And they was like, yeah, we with it. Yeah. And we're a year and a half, a little more than a year and a half in now. And for me, it was simply, I wanted to continue to do something that I was already into. And then, very first episode we did, I said, hey, I'm making an announcement to y'all right now. This is not a boxing podcast.
Okay, I was going to ask you that too.
Ended up being the best thing that we did. Just moving forward, we're making it primarily boxing because what I should already know that I didn't really realize in the moment, selfishly trying to extend myself to put away, I'm not just boxing. I'm all the other sports. I'm all the other entertainments. I'm everything. So I didn't want the podcast to be just boxing. So it's to pour away. But what we realized was this is a small circle, and you can become a big fish in this small circle very quickly. And that's essentially what we become to the podcasting industry in boxing. And now we're just trying to figure out how we can really get outside of the boxing and expand the podcast. So we're working on some other things, Patreon, and all these other different things to make sure that the podcast, this is more of a show today. This ain't really a radio podcast, you know what I mean? So we do have this on the podcasting platforms, but I tell everybody to go to YouTube because that's where you really get to see the characters and you get to see my suits and, you know what I mean, the genuineness of everything.
You say your suits?
My suits.
Now, let's talk about the suits.
I mean, classic. Shawn Porter is known for his suits now.
Oh, that's what it is.
I still wear the suits, yeah.
I don't know about knowing in a good way.
Hey,
No.
Like double
Oh,
breasted.
no, I'm double-breasted tomorrow.
They
I'm double-breasted tomorrow.
I got something in the back of the closet.
Yeah, you got to.
You got them gators?
Yeah.
But you ain't got the wide leg though.
Nah,
Not the wide leg.
nah, come on,
Okay.
nah.
No, I'm trying to
Nah, the 90s.
He ain't got the wide leg.
Nah,
on
the
the bottom.
90s.
Okay, yeah.
You know, he got the baby gap. Right here.
It's okay. You dropped something, so get that. You dropped something, so get that.
The paint on your legs is still wet. The paint on your legs is still
I
wet.
told him, look, ain't no shame in my game. I told him.
Cover yourself. Women letters, right? This is nasty.
These are. Look, listen.
Can't pull his wallet out right now.
These are pre-retirement pants. I've had these before I retired, alright? I done gained some since the fight, since retirement.
Hey, them pants to get you more fights.
bigger, you know. And it actually became more prevalent when the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Everybody had to sit down, everybody had to develop Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, all this shit comes from the pandemic.
Yeah.
So now, man, you can plug in, stay consistent, lock in, and they want to pay you for it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the world is about content now.
Yeah.
If you got content, people ain't really looking for their remote. You don't even know what their remote is, you okay? I'm going to lay in their bed and swipe their phone all day watching movies. I know I take I'm watching 4 or 5 podcasts, you know, that I listen to, you know what I'm saying? So, man, I think it's a savior for anybody. Anybody can get it. Anybody can sit down, lock in, and get money with
I
podcast.
tell everybody though, I said you gotta be careful. Pick what you want your podcast to be
Specifically.
and know what you want to do.
Yes.
And I think that, and again, when you talk about boxing, this is what made my podcast special is because I got 3 or 4 individuals on the podcast. We all have our own personality.
Yeah.
We all have our own takes on the show, and we're all friends. And so it's easy for us to get on the podcast and do what we do at home.
Right.
The difference though, because other people think, oh man, y'all watch a fight and y'all go on and record it. Yeah, but none of us choke when the camera come
That
on.
matters.
None of us get confused or get lost in our thoughts when the cameras come on. It's sharp.
Yeah.
We don't edit much of our shows. And we come in, we record it, then we go out. You know what I mean? So you gotta get tight. And I think a lot of people don't really realize that about the podcast.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. People turn it on. I said it's easy as turning it on and getting money, but there's
You gotta
some-
find an angle though.
You gotta find an
Because
angle.
A lot of people, like to your point, would say, I just want a podcast. But you don't really find an angle, you're gonna get drowned because there's thousands of podcasts out there that don't really have an angle.
Absolutely, and the angle should be authenticity, right? That should be the angle. Like if you're a silly dude, even if you're a goofy dude, or if you're a dude that dresses in suits, and you can discuss that, do that shit, right? Do that. Don't try to come and talk about sports when you only got a little bit to talk about.
Right.
But man, I can sit up and talk to y'all about something I'm interested in. I can talk about relationship with these women all day long. I've been dysfunctional nigga for I don't know how long. So, but that's what I have a true love for conversation. So like, that's what it's about. If you get up there and turn that thing on, you forget everything. It's just you in the air, right? And I wanted to ask you, are y'all interested, because it's kind of leaning over into the boxing space, are y'all interested in bringing former boxers on? Is that an angle that y'all use from time? Or even boxers that's still down?
That's eventually is going to be a primary angle for the podcast. We did Tommy Hearns. Yeah, we had Tommy Hearns.
Detroit City, that's
So
right.
Tommy is the one I really want to bring up because he's an old head. He's a legend. He's a great that's gone on, and there's an audience that has no clue who Tommy is.
Crazy.
So I had Tommy come on one time at my house really early on in the show. People like Tommy, people like Ray, and all these other guys that I believe have kind of their time has kind of gone on.
Yeah.
But you can bring these guys back in with the right production. You can have highlights and all these types of things and really show people like what the heavyweight division used to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have somebody like Riddick Bowe that people don't know because he didn't have the kind of career that Mike Tyson had.
Right.
Riddick Bowe, to me, is an amazing, great heavyweight fighter. One of the truest like punchers and boxers of the heavyweight division of all time. But there's a whole generation that don't know about it. So you got to bring those guys back and remind people, me, I would not be who I am without Marvin Hagler, without Riddick Bowe. No, I'm not a heavy, but I seen how mean he was. So I knew I had to be me. You know what I mean? Like, I watched and I learned from these guys. And so when people say, man, Shawn's relentless in the ring, he don't stop. I remember Riddick didn't stop. The dude would get knocked down, get up, and come right back and knock you down. So I always had that mentality as a fighter from people like them. It's a whole generation that don't know those fighters.
Nigga, now me, I want to see my mom from the second.
So you say what?
Talk to my mom and get my thoughts back.
Maybe knock you down.
Word up. So
Nah, that's well
do you
said.
feel like you're a historian?
No, I'm not a historian, but guess what? I got a historian on the podcast.
We got one.
Who the historian?
He ain't here.
He's not here today.
got
Yeah,
one.
I try to get him here.
Fact check.
Chantel.
Yeah, I got a historian because
I like that too.
when I started doing the commentary, the first thing that was told to me is, hey, don't forget you're an expert. And, you know, I'm home. I was like, whoa. I was talking to the dude, like, whoa, I'm not an expert.
Yeah.
He says, no, when the cameras come on and you're on TV, everybody that's listening to you, they think you know it all. They think you're the expert, so tell them everything. Sorry. But because I speak about this, and I know it very, very well. But if you didn't fight in the late 90s or the 2000s, I didn't see you. I'm not a historian that's going to go back and watch fights. I went back and watched Riddick Bowe because I was just a fan of him. But it took me shaking hands with Riddick for me to say, I know your name, but I need to know more about you. You know what I mean? I'm not a just straight up historian.
I think that's awesome, though. I think that's intriguing to the podcast for you to be a fighter, a great fighter, and then go in and be able to say, hey, I'm not even a historian. So now there's some things I can learn from some of the people or some stories. And that's something that I would want to see as opposed to someone that got everything right.
Yeah. Shout out to Shawn Zittel. He's back at home. He is our historian. I mean, my man is a walking encyclopedia about a lot of things. Carson too in a lot of ways, not as much, but I mean Carson knows a lot about. I got like every base covered on my podcast because we can go out of boxing and talk about football or soccer. He knows all about that. We all play football, so we know a lot about football.
So you basically say Ant don't know nothing?
Nah, I love Ant's approach because Ant don't give
comic relief.
I don't
give a
they know I cuss a little bit, but Ant don't give a shit. He don't care if you talk shit about Mike Tyson, you come on the show, you don't let him know. Like, you know, he'll say, yeah, I'm just saying, you kind of, you know, who'd you call out one time? It was, who?
Tony Harrison? Tony Harrison?
Tony somebody, you were just like, you think
Tony
you
got
called
called out. To be fair, Ant was just standing on what he argued. So like less than a minute before, he was like, yeah.
I'm a man of my word. I can't back off my word.
I think Tony gets stopped in this fight.
Like the first Fondora.
And then Tony jumps on and so Ant's like,
that's it.
I think you get stopped in that fight. I don't know. I was like, Tony was not.
It wasn't Tony Harrison. It was Harrison or Lubin?
Yeah,
Harrison.
Harrison, Harrison.
When all you said was that you think you're going to get stopped.
Yeah.
And he mad?
Everybody,
that's joking.
Everybody,
That's not disrespectful. That's not disrespectful.
That's saying your opinion. That's his personal opinion, you know.
But at the same time,
But he got stopped if you're talking about him.
I got it.
Fondora?
Nah, it wasn't that way.
It was Fondora.
I said, if you get Fondora, I think you get stopped.
Because he was already saying it when Tony called in. So we were talking about Tony in the moment. I was just like, it'd be tight to get him on. So I just texted him and sent him the link and said, yo, jump on. But I ain't said nothing to them. I ain't think about it. He went on his little rant.
The worst of the worst.
Yeah, I ain't, you know, and then I brought him in on that, you know what I mean? So it was on me.
I disrespect Shawn, that's my brother. I'll say something crazy to him at the end of the day if I hear somebody else. We might have to fight. Like, I love him, but I keep it real with him. He know if he come to me, I didn't care who he is. I'm gonna keep it real with him at the end of the day because that's the type of friend I am. I don't look at him as a world superstar. He's my brother. I love him. I'm always look out for the best for him.
And that's real. You can't do nothing but respect that. And shout out to Tony Harrison. He's one of the best talkers for sure, but one of the best fighters to do it too. From Detroit.
And a good dude, like in and out of the ring too. Yeah. That's one thing about Tony. Tony got his integrity is on another level. And I've seen it because he don't back down from nobody. He know who he is. And if you don't rock with him, he like, all right, you don't rock with me. Right. Cool. Right. And then, and of course, if you keep coming, he got something for you. It can't be the hands, but usually it is. Like, you know, it's the mouth. You know what I mean?
The kids out there in the city too, right?
So wait, is that Kev, you from Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Is that a Detroit thing?
What's that?
The slick with the mouthpiece, you know?
Well, slick, smooth talk is a
quick,
word away from words. I like to say so. I feel like, you know, lethal mouths. Like, terrible, bad mouths, but quick. Quick, you know, into it though,
That's real talk,
I wanted to ask you though, like, so you've been around boxing for a long time,
sir.
right? But you don't box necessarily.
No, I'm not a boxer.
All right, so do you love boxing? And I'm sure you've seen a ton of shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you jaded yet on the sport of boxing?
No, not jaded on the sport of boxing. Boxing is like the ultimate competitive sport to me. You know, like
to see it front row. Like,
I mean,
that.
of course you got some fighters. Yeah, some fights. like all of us here, some fights you just be like, all right, we're gonna miss this one, you know, like early fights. But at the same time, it's good to see those early fights because sometimes it'll be a Shawn Porter fight on that card early, and then it becomes Shawn Porter one day, you know. That's awesome to see those guys go from, you know, somebody on the undercard first fight to Tank Davis, for instance. You know, we all seen Javante's come up, and now he's he's the big honcho of the sport.
That's the homeboy.
That's a Baltimore cat.
That's the homeboy. He don't know me. I know him.
He loves Tank, yeah, for sure. But no, so with that said, kid, no, I'm not jaded up on boxing. I love boxing, bro. I think it's like I said, the ultimate competitive sport, man. And we come from the competitive background as far as sports, you know.
Yeah, but sometimes, let's say, if I heard,
Hold on, right quick.
I'm on the
Hold. This Akin Barak, the Akin Barak show on the Zone.
Salute.
It's like really good people, man. They from New York.
Solid dude.
And I'm working the Zone tomorrow along with them. But anytime we together, we always rocking. So I did want to introduce y'all as well. But go ahead with your thoughts.
What I was saying was that, you know, I've been in boxing for a while or whatever, and because you're on the inside, you start to hear the dirt too. You start to hear the grimy stuff, and sometimes you hear stuff that make you say, damn, why am I even here?
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's that bad. You know what I mean? Because these men are putting their lives on the line for real. So we hear stuff like, so-and-so promoter gave us $50,000 not to beat their fighter or whatever, and I'm like, people done pay money, people done, you know, give their hard-earned money to see you, their support. Your camp is there. The camp don't know what's going on. Everybody working hard for you to win, and you might lose just because you're getting $50,000.
Wait, so I don't know about that though. Like I don't know. It's gonna be real, right? I'm trying to
Clear your side up, baby.
Cause I'm over here like, damn, why he go there? I ain't never heard this.
No, I like it. And Kevin's
He got beat too.
No, I like it though.
Yo,
That's not even a question. No, go ahead.
I'm saying because you said he ain't jaded, and I'm like, sometimes I hear stuff and I'm
No,
like,
I know what okay, so to touch on that, what he's saying is like, so that I am happy, and I'm not gonna stay on the company I work with, our guy, but I'm happy that we're
his
in.
name cannot be said.
No, it's not. It can. It's just for what, you know, right now. But I am happy that they came into the sport because Shawn can attest to it. He helped a lot of fighters. I don't know if there's too many fighters I can really say, man, he did me dirty. I've heard the you know, bad stories about, and respected Don King too, by the way. You know, I've heard a lot about his stories about how he pays people.
Oh, it ain't no stories.
I know.
Because my brother fought for Don King for 4 years. So I know firsthand.
No, I believe they're true, and that's sad, but like I say, it's just hard, it sucks because I respect him. He's a self-made dude that took it to that level, so I always give Don King that respect, but I hear about those kind of stories, dude.
There's nobody like that.
Yeah, that's
nobody.
That's all. So
there's nobody helps black and Latino fighters. Nobody. When this was a white sport and you got this black man is the most powerful man in the sport. That's great.
That's facts, bro. And that's why I said.
To your point, we sat down with every IAM fighter. We never heard a fighter.
No
the problem.
People diss out him before they get with him, like Paulie Maldonado. He diss out him when he get out him. You know, Al Heyman loves you, man. You know, so he call you, man. He check on you, make sure how you good.
You dropped your lips up again.
But no, let me touch on that though.
And it's fucking for the record.
I don't need that.
This is painful moment for the
I know it ain't.
No, I'm saying for the record, like I echo Barack's sentiment on that because for years, you know, we've been on Sirius XM national radio for years. We worked 50 Cent for years, and there was a time where a lot of other companies were coming at. You know what I mean? You know the history about soon, and because of the relationships we had with guys like Shawn and Errol and Danny Garcia, and the stories they shared about Al, and not only them telling me, I'm just saying, no.
We have for years.
Of course, but I'm talking about in terms of how the fighters, of course. I mean,
this dude right here. This dude.
You know, I'm
from Redwood. You see, everybody loves him. No. Who talks bad about him?
Nobody. No. Listen. Like he said earlier, there's some snakes in this industry. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, we got a lot of associates, but I'm talking about not non-fighters. Like I can name on one hand like people that I trust, and he's one of them. You know what I'm saying? And hundreds of people I know. But I'm talking about in terms of fighters, right? On how they're treated when it comes to that shot, right? Like that made open our eyes, and when we on national radio, we defended that man against everybody, the powers that be, the callers, the execs. Like, nah, I just talked to Danny. Like, he happy. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. So we represent that on a large scale still to this day. Even though we're on the other side right now with the zone and all of that, but every PBC fighter has been on the zone platform because we've never destroyed any relationship. And he's a big part of that because he always supported that as well.
What's y'all relationship like with boxing?
Oh, they crack.
What's y'all relationship with boxing? Like, meaning like, do people see podcasts? I want to make sure I'm saying that right.
Yeah, no, we host a TV show on network on the zone.
So TV show. So are the boxers, are they ingratiated with y'all platform? Meaning like, you know how some people can have shows and podcasts and radio shows and stuff, and it's like, yeah, man, you go up there, man, you never know what you might get. You know, where's the relationship with y'all in actual boxing?
I mean, what I just said says it all, like pretty much with fighters that don't fight on our platform, whether they fight on ESPN, PBC, anywhere else, they're still happy to sit down with us, so that answers your question. But Barack can elaborate more on that.
Yeah, we got real, we believe that in this life, what's important is relationships. You know what I'm saying? And we got real relationships with these fighters. That's why sometimes on our show we might be wrestling with them. You know what I'm saying? Clips go by, we're able to get things out of these fighters that other people can't get because of the relationship we have. It's like Terrence Crawford, best fighter in the world right now, hands down. You know what I mean? He was having problems with Bob Allen. Can't talk about it because it's a legal issue. Bob Allen is a promoter, been around since the Ali days. Came on our show, was like, you know what? I can't really talk about it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I said, my man, if you don't talk about it, I'm going to choke you. You know what I'm saying? And that joint went viral because he opened up and he spoke about it. You know what I mean? But that's what love does. You know, we really want to contribute by helping these fighters. Not just try to become famous.
It ain't worth the soundbite, like a little soundbite of tearing a fighter down. You might get 100,000 views on that. It ain't worth ruining a relationship. Like that's, in my opinion,
relationship.
Listen, all glory to God for the blessings that we've been given and gotten to this level, right? But I feel genuinely it's because we didn't ruin any relationship, and we always value that more than a soundbite. We see a lot of people come and go, but they'll say the wrong thing or ask the wrong question that shouldn't be asked, and they know it shouldn't be asked at that point. But you know what they're thinking? This is gonna go viral and ruin that relationship. There's no progression like that.
But worse than that, like these dudes are really putting their lives on the line, and you just disrespectful about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how you can crap on these fighters and you get paid from boxing. That's kind of productive to me. You know what I mean? And then I come from a world when you say something, you gotta back it up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta back it up. So if I say something, that means I'm ready for any repercussion. But these guys ain't. These other reporters, they not ready for nothing. Like how you? So when Brenagh go slap you, that's your fault. Now he shouldn't. Now don't put your hands on nobody. You know what I'm saying? But that's where I'm from.
To respect the call.
It comes from punches. You'll get punched in the face.
That's what I'm saying. Or worse. Or worse.
Now there's a difference between giving your honest opinion, right, and then disrespecting the fighter. So there are fighters that are a bit sensitive, and they can't even take your honest opinion as an analyst or a journalist. You have to be able to take that, you know what I mean, and not be offended by it. But it's a fine line right there.
That's real talk. And Kev touched on it too. They're historians. I'll put them. They may not.
Not like Shawn.
They're
not like that guy.
They're historians. Like, you know, to me, they're the future. They've been doing it, and they're the future. They bring that fresh, good face to the game, and you know, like I said.
Marcus, I think the biggest issue I have with Al is, would you let people know Al is not your dad?
I said, everybody.
If you Google them, you see this.
People argue me down.
Can you tell the world you and Brandon now?
I was about to say that too. And I got a twin brother.
That's probably the biggest one.
The twins.
No. But his father, when he talk about him, he be like the twin.
He the one who said it.
He started it off.
So they started calling us twins like years ago. Let's see, Brandon was playing baseball in the major leagues, which, by the way, his bat is over there. You know, he's. So he's playing baseball.
Hold on. That's crazy.
And I was grinding, you know, with Al, working on concert tours and also working with the fighters. I started with them basically, like with Berto and those guys. So Brandon, when
you was there from the beginning with Berto and all of them.
Yeah. Well, that's when I started working with Berto and those guys. But I was there. I was a youngin in high school with Vernon Forrest, which was our first guy, and you know, Lamont Bruce, Lemon Brewster, and all those guys. You know, I was young in high school, but then after high school, Started working with them on tours with Chris Brown and Leo. That was the first one, and then after that went to the boxing side. So it's funny you say that. I got a chance to see the music real, which I love. We all love music, I think, but they're like real diva-ish, you know what I mean? They're like even fighters, fighters are too, but fighters I can relate to more because they're just more like competitive, you know, like they're athletes, I guess, and not just athletes, but they're competitive human beings and whatnot. And so it was more comfortable for me with these guys a little bit.
Right.
And so back then we would be moving around and somebody see us and then they'll say, I saw y'all, the twins. They just said the twins. My dad was just like, yeah, you know what? Forget it. It's easy. Let them call you twins. You know, y'all know what I'm saying? Let them call you twins. I'm like, yeah.
And you ain't gotta explain. Yeah,
it is what it is. But we said the same thing. I guess it's rare in a black family, but we just got the same mom, same dad, you know.
What you said?
Yeah.
What's that like? Is that like a? What is that like a?
Nah, you know, yeah, that's all it is. But nah, wait, we can get back to that. But we was on music with Stevie Wonder. I got a question. That's my brother TJ Waddy, by the way, in the cut. Timmy, TJ Waddy over there. So he said this the other day. He said Marvin Gaye is the best of all time. And, you know.
Wait, let me back it up first.
What?
I said that because I feel like he spoke on our culture, what we can all relate to.
Facts.
And everybody can relate to. I want to put a race car with black problems.
Yeah.
Honest.
No, facts, and I agree, because I'm a Marvin Gaye guy, and if you guys know anything about my father, he comes from Motown background, so you know he was tight with Marvin, and Marvin is a legend to me. I will put him up there. It's just hard. I don't know how do you make the greatest? Because I came back at him. I said Stevie Wonder is actually low key like this guy's blind. This guy is playing the piano. That's freaking talent. You know?
I think but like. Marvin wrote a lot of hits, bro.
Dig, okay. So Marvin is that, yeah.
Y'all heard this guy called Stevie Wonder.
Rick James too.
I wasn't not to cut you off. I wasn't talking about sales. I'm talking about realness. That's what I'm talking about.
No, I'm talking about he wrote a lot of hits.
Well, no, outside of even
single-handedly
Stevie Wonder.
I'm talking about the realness of what we relate to.
Right.
I hear realness. The young niggas today, like, I don't hear that shit.
Who would be, Shawn, who would be like 3 of your favorites of all time?
3 of my favorites all time:
Yeah.
Michael Jackson and Prince, my top 2.
Dig, okay.
Everybody else fall in line behind them.
There you go.
I lean more towards Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder, but it's kind of like in boxing where you can't say nobody's greater than Muhammad Ali because of what he's done. So I kind of feel what you're saying about Marvin Gaye. And
that's why I told him because his album, yeah.
It's a movement because of what he's done outside.
I was gonna say, you already you gotta consider generations.
Yeah.
I wasn't a Marvin Gaye
Right.
generation.
I love Stevie, and then.
Yeah, but does generation really matter if you sit down and
It does.
listen to
It
music?
does.
No, but it does.
It does.
That's time. Like I love Marvin Gaye.
Me
I love
too.
Marvin Gaye. I love Stevie as well. But if there was a versus battle, to me, I'm just gonna ride with Marvin because I enjoy and I feel the music more. Not that Stevie don't have mega hits, but that's subjective.
It's subjective. But here's why eras matter.
And Marvin's journey got cut short.
Because
You know what I'm saying? What if Marvin was still?
My bad, but years from now, folks will hear about R. Kelly, but they won't know what it felt like in 1994.
Right.
I thought that was Andrew clapping.
That's my guy.
You clapped and Aaron was like, he clapped.
To know what it felt like to hear that shit.
At that moment.
At that moment.
Now then you had to live in that time to know.
Right, so that's why it don't hit the same when it comes to Marvin Gaye. It just don't hit. I can hear the music, but I can
Let's
tap
get
in
it
with
on,
But I hear my eyes don't cry no more and go to a whole nother, y'all get this. I ballroom hustle, but you got the record. We can hustle.
No, I got you, kid. That's right, kid.
But that's
No,
what I'm
that's
saying.
why eras do matter.
It just
Because at one time
that's a good point.
we were all struggling. As a people, we were all struggling. We're not all struggling anymore. Nobody here is struggling. You understand? So music hit different when you're struggling. Music hit different when you're sad. Music hit different depends on the emotions that you're in. Or
Right, that's what I think. It's more like the
So it does.
if your emotion that you're dealing with kind of fall with the song, it's gonna mean more to you.
100%.
If your mama's a hooker and the song talking about hookers, you gonna feel it a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me ask y'all a question real quick. How do you feel about folks that say that? Do you feel like when they say, man, it ain't the same. They don't make the R&B they don't write, the R&B artists don't write like they used to back in the day. Isn't that, don't you feel like maybe like you're an old head and you can't accept the new generation of the talent?
Man, I'm 50-50 on that. I don't even know if that was directed toward me.
Nah, towards everybody.
Everybody would answer, but I'm 50-50 on that. You know what I'm saying? What's up, what?
Why, what's good?
Yeah, I'm 50-50 on that because there's something to be said about lyrics, right? Like, we ain't, you know, the women all together, I can't even hear women music damn near these days at all, right? Just because of the
content.
Yeah, the content is just, I can't even take it, right? But then when it comes to the R&B side, we really, ain't a lot of guys talking about being in love and trying to take you out. I give you the sun, the moon, the stars.
No, they taking somebody else's girl.
You can't even get an Uber.
They was begging back then. Like
Yeah,
they still love women.
Yeah, these days take it or leave it.
It's a little different now. I'm only in town for tonight. It's a little different.
So it's different now. When I'm in the car with my son, I only listen to the Wave 94.7. He be hearing all.
Yeah. So do you like anybody that's new? Any new artists in terms of R&B?
I like new artists. I'm not a music guy, so I don't chase music. If it come on the radio,
I didn't know that, kid.
Yeah, I love music, but I never buy it. I might have bought maybe 4 CDs. I bought Jingling Baby when it first came. All Eyes on Me.
All Eyes on Me.
And that was the real one.
Oh, yeah.
And I bought Avant.
Avant. Right there, Shawn.
That's a real nigga. So like, I done bought 3 albums. And I gotta do something comedian with that.
You supposed to say Diddy.
Nah. What he did was he invested in buying. He's trying to get y'all to buy that.
Oh, you got money to a box. That's my dog.
No, I didn't know the bigger Avant. I'm going back in the day, man. But I'm gonna tell y'all straight up though, that's what it's about. I've never been into buying music, but if it come on, I can retain. I listen to 90s R&B on my Pandora. I don't know what y'all listen to. I go to 90s R&B and put my phone on.
I'm already in the 80s.
I
got Michael in them. No, I know Keith. Keith be on that, but not. They don't be on that where I'm listening to. It's just Michael Jackson.
We was riding yesterday, me and Shawn and my boy Dane. We listened to something. I was like, this bitch. I went back 10 years. I was my girl. We happy. I'm talking about girls 10 years ago.
And who's playing, Shawn?
Huh?
Who's playing, Shawn?
I think so.
I know Shawn like that. He like
Shawn
the
didn't know.
things too.
Shawn thought I was talking about my grandmother. I said, no, I'm talking about this girl, Carson.
This dude right here, when we play basketball, he'll keep his headphones before the game. He put them on the bench. But we playing the game, and we come sit down. I'm on the bench. So he got the music playing, but you're hearing Joy and Benny.
Like the Beverly Hills now, yeah. I love that shit.
First of all, you on the court. Hey, man, they playing Joy and Benny. I'm like,
So that gets you the game.
So when he was playing ball too, we be in the gym, working out, doing the weights, strength and conditioning, and I be listening to that kind of stuff. New Edition, I can listen to that kind of stuff and work. But he said he needs to listen to like trap music.
I need
you know?
some.
Like,
You know what
he
I'm
needs some
saying?
type
Give me
of
like-
hype, you know.
We can't even be old. You're an old head if you like music now, right? You can't. You like, yo, you don't listen to Lil Webby Debbie?
No,
Lil Webby Debbie.
Like 900 lyrics.
yeah, there's a lot
You know what I'm
of
saying? No, listen, there's a lot of young artists that are musicians and really put work in. They ain't all Lil Debbie. Like, there's some real artists out there.
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
I mean, even in hip hop. I mean, y'all know what Kendrick doing, how special he is. You know what I mean?
And when I try, we talk about this all the time. I try not to. We gotta stay young, no matter what. Like in the mind. So I try not to become that old dude. We may not. We may not. A lot of this stuff may not be our flavor. But if you go back to the '90s when we grew up, there was some stupid music in there. You know, if you go back to
All
you
it
go to
was,
the 80s,
it was definitely
old,
stupid music, but it was other lane music too.
I like
now it's just stupid music.
But I like
But
the
now,
rhythm.
no, it ain't that. Now it's just too much. Because it's saturated. Now, the reason why it seems stupid there because it's saturated because there's so many platforms, YouTube, so you get overloaded with music. Back then, you had to be at a certain level to hear your joint on the radio and for people to rock. So now it's overloaded, but you gotta skim through it. But you'll find some good artists now. It's just too much of it.
I agree with you. You went to college.
Dropped out after 3 months.
I got my kids keep me young. You feel me?
What was that?
My kids keep me young, but they listening to it. So
I try to stay tapped. I like everything to come out. I just don't follow. Like, I just don't have time because of what he said to know all the new rappers and all the new music. But if you come across the radio, I ain't necessarily got time. But I'm not listening to none of the female rappers, man. I don't listen to none of them.
I like Nicki Minaj. She listen to.
I'm savage. I don't hear that shit.
And I be looking at girls.
How old is he really though?
Come on, I like it. I'm gonna play it again.
Look around in the shop.
Yeah.
You got MC, you got.
I'm all over the place.
I'm all over the
So, hey, I don't want to muck the conversation up, but I want to say hip hop since we in here. I'm top.
That's a radio hawk.
Man, top 4, because I don't want to give y'all 5, and I won't limit y'all to 3. Top 4, and I'm gonna.
I think you need 5 for that.
No, because y'all trying to let. I want to.
Artists.
We ain't never heard of top 5.
I know.
So you want us to leave that one out?
I want to see y'all make a sacrifice for somebody. I'm gonna say Pop first for me, for the same reasons he say Marvin Gaye. I'm gonna have to honestly say Jay-Z and Drake is second.
Ooh, that's 2 and 3. You got sacrifice.
Make your
only because I come from and I know where Jay started from. I know that in '96. I know that. But Drake done said a lot of shit.
Man, Jay-Z.
Drake done said a lot of shit.
Jay-Z's the GOAT. Stop it. Nobody can deny it. Jay's the GOAT. He's a Muhammad Ali of rap. Nobody could touch Jay-Z.
Jay-Z disappears, bro.
Everybody's
Jay-Z rides Beyonce albums to the next drop.
After summer, until he ready to stop. I'm from the '90s when Jay-Z didn't even speak when Pop was out.
It don't matter. What do you mean? He ain't really getting to his own.
I'm just so we gotta respect that.
His debut album,
his style was changing around that time.
Well, that's fair, but I gotta speak to my style because I lived through it, and I remember there was a time when Jay-Z was not talking.
there's a time when nobody was talking.
There's a time like fuck Jay-Z.
Pac is older than Jay-Z. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, back then, Jay wasn't. Pac is already.
Maybe a little bit, but not too much.
What I'm saying, in the hip hop industry, Jay was young in that industry. He was still messing with Jazzo when Pac was already on. Like, it wasn't the same. He ain't getting to his own.
I got you. Both of them are great for sure. Drake is that guy, but I'm gonna go there. Reason why Jay is the best. If you listen to Reasonable Doubt right now, that's like 30 years ago. It's so relevant. Like everything.
Hey, this is not.
Like it's all of his albums. Like
Name one artist name one artist in the history of hip hop that has been as consistent as Jay-Z.
Wait, why we can't say
Listen. First off, I'm a Drake.
700 weeks on the chart.
No.
10 years straight. Tell me who.
Jay-Z disappeared by choice.
I ain't saying by choice, by whatever.
Jay-Z left by choice. You think he got pushed out of the game? Jay did it for 15 years straight. 15 summers straight.
I know, that's a lot.
What?
That's a lot.
96,
Jay-Z
97,
15. He said 6 something.
99,
Now Drake might
2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009. I can keep going.
No.
Beyonce albums.
I'm with you on that.
Beyonce albums.
So wait. I'm gonna go to the whole
I just
right now.
spent 15 years.
I love it.
And that was in 2000.
I do. I listen to him.
I got a question.
Who's wittier than Jay?
Drake.
all right here,
2022. Come on, bro. 15 summers.
I got something for y'all right now.
Wait a minute, no, we're going back to your 15 summers. No, we're going back to your 15 summers.
Okay.
Let's stay here at your 15 summers. Drake ain't missed. What? He ain't missed the summer.
By choice.
I didn't say about that.
So he did 15.
All
Right, he did 16.
Let's stack to hits then.
No, I'm making a point.
Let's stack to hits.
I'm making a point.
Because Jay-Z right here, Drake. Because I rock the Jay.
Listen. Your criteria's a lot of things. Bars. Production. I just told you Drake was on the list. He got bars.
You're the only nigga I had in front. Everybody else got Drake on.
Hey,
Listen,
That nigga snowing my bars. He's snowing at you.
I want to bring my brother Barack in, somebody that actually can rap, right? That can spit bars, that can analyze it a little bit different, like than just a fan. Is there anybody better than Jay-Z ever in history?
You saying
In
like
rap.
That's a loaded
No,
question.
listen. I would have said, I do say Jay-Z. I do say Jay-Z's the best. You know what I'm saying? Because I come from that era.
Yeah.
Obviously, he has so many summers, but I didn't realize that so much time has passed that Drake was out.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because I would have said the same thing. I would have said, yeah, but Jay-Z been hot for so long. Now, obviously, longer than
Jay-Z's
Drake.
73 years
There you
old.
go. That's
Man,
all.
Jay-Z
I gotta let him win. I gotta let him
Hold on.
win.
They got
Let him win.
Yo, let him win though.
Drake ain't never cooked over the song.
Oh, it's
Paul ain't never cooked
Drake on the song.
Relax. You gotta relax with that.
Listen.
He ain't never cooked
from
over
Brooklyn.
I'm co-signing.
Man, hold my age, man. Tell us old ass.
Yeah, I'm from
Get out the way, nigga. I know you were from Brooklyn. Yo, I'm Baltimore, nigga. West Baltimore. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to say
Drake? See, the reason why I would say Drake when it comes to lyrics is because Drake had a couple of different styles
Yes.
in order to reach a couple of different audiences. Jay never did that.
But has he missed?
No, I'm not. Hold on for a second. What I'm saying is that Jay never changed his style. He has this timeless flow from the beginning that transcended his era. Like it transcended his genre just off that style, that real gritty hip hop style. Drake had to change, had to sing, had to do different styles in order to hit different markets.
He didn't
So
have
I just
to.
think
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
So he didn't have to.
So Jay-Z
had to.
Wait.
He would have
So
been on top
Jay-Z,
of
wait. So Jay-Z's popular with women as well without doing that. So I'm just saying, so that means his style and his lyrics are special.
But no,
You say he didn't have to?
But Drake,
So if Drake didn't sing, you think he would be big as he is?
hold on, no, we can't say that he wouldn't.
I'm saying if he
No, but
did.
hip hop was alive when JB
I'm
was.
saying, give me a
No,
educated guess.
What about Lil Wayne? Can we get some respect on Lil Wayne? He was on my list.
Hey, what
I'm saying is, because we got stuck on Jay and Drake for a reason.
I mean, it's probably 1 and 2 and 1 and same thing.
All right, so that we can take that to move on because at the end of the day, Drake ain't he can talk to he ain't did shit wrong. He wasn't no dope player.
Jay-Z is Drake's favorite rapper. Jay-Z is Drake's favorite rapper.
That's fine.
So that doesn't mean that he
I know,
surpassed
but I'm
him.
Yeah, you know, because he hasn't missed. He's able to go genre for genre and not miss. Y'all sometimes guys put it on the women. Everybody can't do that.
Hold up, bro. We ain't even talking about Drake R&B shit, bro.
And Jay-Z was a product. Y'all gonna hate this shit, but y'all gonna
Jay-Z got called Beyonce to sing
but
it,
y'all
bro.
gonna record this shit. Y'all gonna hate it, but y'all gonna record it. If Jay-Z is a product of the actors of Pac and Biggie, say what you must.
No, I mean we understand
What?
that.
This product, this man, you cannot tell me if you was living in 1995 that there was anybody but Pac, Biggie, and Scarface. Just tell me who
No,
else.
I understand it, but you bring in accusation. You bring in accusation.
No, I'm talking about those
Hey, no,
guys.
that's tough.
Yeah, that can't be proven. Let's not speculate.
Hey,
Okay, but you said what can be proven?
If those two guys were still alive, Jay would have been. Lyrically, is Jay better than both?
Show ain't Drake.
No, Jay.
What's the determination?
Is Jay better than Pac?
Yes. That ain't enough.
100% better than Pac lyrically.
Yes.
Who?
I mean, Jay is better than Pac.
Jay-Z.
Jay is better
Who?
than
I'ma act like I ain't shit. Who?
Jay-Z.
We gotta be the favorite. Whoever said that shit.
Pac is my number one for the But that's not taking that. That's you shouldn't feel offended. Jay-Z shouldn't feel offended if I even speak about Drake. Ain't nobody. I mean, Drake, come on, you don't want to like it, but you learn to.
Right. I bet you playing for your girl.
I'm mad at myself.
I bet your girl.
I'm mad at myself. Because this is an open-ended conversation that can go for days. And the days is going to turn into weeks and months. And I just sat here and let this shit happen.
It's all right.
30 damn minutes.
It's all right.
How we start? What was the question?
Barbershop, Shawn.
It's great conversation.
We couldn't even get past it.
Barbershop conversation.
We couldn't even get past
What
it.
we do, we got a big lightweight fight tomorrow night that can lead to a bigger fight in the lightweight division.
The biggest fight.
The biggest fight. Financially, economically.
Absolutely. Anybody that's not named Canelo, this is the biggest fight in boxing.
Yes.
Ryan Garcia versus Javante Davis.
Yes.
The biggest fight in boxing right now.
Best fight in boxing? Just big.
That's the biggest. No, the best
It's
fight
even-
is Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence.
But it's a bigger fight.
It is.
Tank is bigger than Errol Spence.
That is the best fight.
Brandon, I'm asking you this. You know this.
Yeah, but that's important.
Is this the first fight we can have at Allegiant Stadium, Raiders Stadium in Vegas?
Tank and Ryan.
We can't do this at Allegiant?
I said it's not the first. It's not the first.
What else can you do in
Fury Wilder could have been there realistically.
Now, my heart wants that fight to be in there.
Canelo.
I don't know.
Crawford and Spence.
You sure?
I hope.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't
Hey,
think so.
if you gotta think about
know
it.
what I think? You know what I think?
Early is filling out Dallas Cowboys.
Errol do numbers.
That's because a Mexican was
They coming
involved.
to Vegas.
No, not the
Mikey.
He did it
Oh,
twice.
yeah, you're right.
Michael Garcia.
No.
Michael Garcia.
He did it twice though.
Last fight, he got 40,000.
And that was all people from
But
over
you
there. I was there
get
for that.
more, like they both crossed over, so you don't get our base, Ryan and Tank.
You said the only fight. I said no.
No, it's the first.
And
First one that
he's
can
making
sell
a
it
good
out.
point. Oh, sell it out was different.
Earlier.
Sell it out? How many people that
They can't
I'm
sell
selling out 80,000.
No, they're not selling. Nobody.
But listen. What's the highest grossing fight ever in the boxing?
Floyd Pacquiao.
Where was
Floyd
that?
Pacquiao. Vegas.
Okay, it doesn't matter about how many people. Canelo gets 50, 80,000 people in Dallas Cowboys Stadium, but the tickets cost
But if you
$10.
talk about the game,
No.
$10
We're not talking about the gate. I'm just saying, if Floyd wanted to sell out anywhere, any stadium in America, he could do it.
I don't think so, Floyd.
I
Like
said
Bob
back
Southwell.
then. I said back then.
But against who?
But I'm saying it doesn't matter. What I'm telling you is, if
You
you
talking about
had,
how many people you'll bring out.
I'm telling you this. But if I fought Shawn right now, me and Kevin fought.
Dude.
We can charge $5 anywhere and get a whole bunch of motherfuckers to come out and check us out. So what I'm saying is, Canelo's fights, yes, there's a lot of people there. I watched it. I was like, yeah, this is amazing when he fought Billy Joe Sanders.
Yeah, 70-something thousand.
Right? But half them tickets cost $10. I saw it on they give you a little Groupon and shit like that. Like, so just to get in there, that don't mean that the fight is popular. It's just Canelo's fight and I want to be there. I paid $10, but Floyd was doing shit. They was charging $2,500 to sit at the top of the building. You know what I'm saying? So think about it. Just break that down. So
Yeah, of course.
that's why I be saying like anybody can sell out. I mean, not anybody.
Not anybody, but
you know
I
what
get
I'm
your
saying.
point. Hell yeah.
That's
Hey, I always
You still got to come out though.
No, they
Some
gotta
people
come
come
out,
from different
but-
states. They got to
You
get
know
a
how many
hotel
people can
room.
afford $10 in a state
As
that aren't
opposed to
living
paying
and paying
$1,000.
the
100%.
And Brandon, you've been around, so
I've been around a little bit.
Nah, but you've been around.
We might have to blur my face. What channel is this going on?
I was down here, brought up in Vegas. When Floyd fought in Vegas, it was like a Super Bowl for us. We didn't have no sports team. That was a go-to. So he shut the city down. And he was able to charge whatever he wants, and he brought them all in. These people came to Vegas to go to somewhere to watch the fight on TV, just to be in the same time.
That's true.
So Floyd effect is way different. You might never see that again.
But you can.
Maybe.
Everything happens.
Maybe.
History.
Javante Davis is on his way.
That's why
Javante Davis is on his way.
But I think it's more so because of
He
that.
just broke a record in Barclays in Brooklyn.
Well, that was
He just
crazy.
broke a record.
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes,
Against
he
Shawn.
wins out.
Have you ever seen that many
Against
African
nobody.
Against the
No,
fight,
don't
nobody
do that to Rolling.
What?
Don't do that to Rolling.
It wasn't no.
It was.
Don't do that to Rolling.
It wasn't no white people.
It was.
It was 27 fights in that.
Black people don't even come out
Right.
for boxing.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Except when Javante Davis
Black
fights.
people out the streets.
Black people don't come out for
You had
boxing.
Madonna come out.
I call it the Nipsey Hussle effect. Nipsey Hussle had the streets. When he died, he had his funeral at the Staples Center, bro. He had a real crib, right? At the
Staples Center. Tank Davis is the same way.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
far as he got the streets meet, all the motherfuckers respect him.
We saw it firsthand in Atlanta. When
Nobody
got
knew
more.
it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what I saw there.
Like,
Every single person in there. I mean, I was at the Lennox Mall or whatever, and everybody in Neiman Marcus. And I told the lady, it was like Walmart, packed. And I asked the lady, what's going on? Well, everybody getting ready for that fight.
Everybody look like they getting money in the crowd.
Everybody
And that's what
knows
you
that.
thought they did. I swear to you, I've never seen that. Normally when we go somewhere, we stick out. We stick out. When we in Texas or wherever, we stick out. There, look like everybody.
It was crazy.
Everybody got cars on their neck.
That's what I knew.
Everybody got
Tank
cars
was-
and houses on their neck. Crazy.
And he delivered every time. You know what I'm saying? He delivered every time. Knocking people out.
He did Baltimore.
It don't matter where he at.
He sold out
We do
Baltimore.
that
He's
everywhere.
from Baltimore, but he sold out Baltimore. He did Atlanta, Baltimore, LA.
But to do that in New York,
Barclays last the other fight was crazy.
Deontay Wilder couldn't do that in Brooklyn. And he a heavyweight. You figure heavyweight, bring him out. Hey, he knocked everybody out. Danny Garcia, Puerto Rican.
Danny started off
There's more
there.
Puerto Ricans in New York than anything. And he couldn't even do that.
Danny started off with that, but then
Danny
he
killed
Then he had the record until Tank just broke it. I think it was.
What's up, Young King?
16,000.
You good, man? What's up, Young King? You alright? Over here with Doc, that Dr. Kenny? Young homie?
Little man just came here.
He disappeared.
I heard somebody was talking about Drake. What's up? What you told? What's up? He called him up. What's up, man?
That's right.
And real quick, we got a couple young fighters I want to bring in right
Oh
quick.
yeah,
Come
most
on,
definitely,
y'all.
man. Say what's up to the homies.
Come on in here right quick, y'all.
Should they introduce themselves on the way in? Or you going
Yeah, nah. Yeah, yeah.
How you tell them how you want to do it?
I messed up. I didn't even know, bro. I thought they was like rappers.
Look like rappers.
I think they look like that new age rapper. No, man.
Come on.
Little Debbie. Little Debbie, Rebby, what you say?
Yo.
So, man, come
Go ahead, you can sit right there.
No, you the host.
Right here,
Step
Doc.
down. Y'all was hosting. Y'all need to
Got that. That's it over here. No, speak right now.
There's one more seat over there.
I got you, Kev.
Sean, you want to explain like at the same time? We're trying to give a young cat
So
a look.
podcast,
Kevin.
when I first started the podcast, going back to what Kevin was talking about, it was about pushing forward boxing. Not pushing forward this promotional company, not pushing forward these fighters specifically, but pushing forward boxing. So now I got an opportunity to work with DAZN this weekend. I have an opportunity to work with Golden Boy this weekend. I don't care what promotional team hires me, as long as I feel like I can do what I believe I should be doing. If you're putting on a good card and you're putting on good fights, and I believe in you as a promoter and as a network, I'm gonna work for you. And so it's easy for me to do my podcast and say, no, we're not just talking about these fighters because they were this promoter. We're not gonna talk about those fighters because those fighters aren't rock with those fighters. I rock with boxing. I say, I don't care who you are and what you're doing. If you do something big and don't nobody know you, we're gonna bring you in and make sure that everybody knows what you did. Now here's a situation where we got some guys that are in town right now. No, they didn't do nothing big, but we got an opportunity to push forward these young men in a sport that won't really give them a chance. Have you guys been on TV yet? You've been on the network, right?
No, I just been like up in Mexico.
Okay.
When they
Yeah.
broadcast off
Yeah,
there.
but y'all don't really have an opportunity to speak for people to see y'all, and for y'all to have an opportunity to expose yourselves. So what I wanted to do real quick was just kind of go down the line real quick, introduce yourself, introduce where you're from, and your status in boxing right now, your record. Go ahead, you can start it off.
Nah, you just make to the people loud, man.
Talking to us, man.
They'll get you.
Hey, let me cut my man off. Hey, my man, fresh off of work, he putting in the grind. That's right. My man, I thought you was holding. We know we got New York cats up here. They stay clean, so they real judgmental.
Number one?
4-1 in the amateurs. Yep. Okay. And then you? I just saw you, but go ahead, Dave.
Thanks one time. I haven't fought over a year, man. It's been kind of tough. They've been offering me kind of shitty fights, you know what I mean? So right now I kind of switched my team around, so I feel like I'm in a good position. I'm fighting August 19th in Commerce, so
There you go.
I just came fresh off of an exhibition, 4th of July against Shawn Garcia, Ryan's brother. I also did sparring with Ryan before. What was that?
Whooped on him. I heard he's all
Okay, Shawn, man.
I was there.
It was good. It went back and forth.
Yeah, we were going back and forth exhibition. It's 2-minute round, so it kind of brought me back to the amateur. I mean, we didn't have much time to really establish something, but it was like, okay, 2-minute rounds kind of brought me back to like the amateur
It
stuff.
was a true exhibition.
Yeah, so I went in there, man, and throw some punches, boom, 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 show some speed, you know what I mean? Kind of get the crowd hype. It was in my hometown, so it was fresh. It was tight. Yeah.
My man.
I'm DeAndre Evans.
R&B singer, we can tell.
Oh yeah,
And the group right here.
oh yeah. This the revolution right here. This my. But anyways, I'm professional, 3-1. Coming off my 4th fight, didn't go my way. Went back and forth, you know, dealing with out there in Mexico politics. But you know, all my fights were difficult out there. So, you know, I seen having an opportunity out there is still cutthroat. You know, people think you go out there, you're going to have easy fights. None of my fights was easy. My 3rd fight, I fought one of Julio Cesar Chavez prospect. And when I did an upset, I showed my man here the fight. When I did an upset, they zeroed in on me and they was watching. My last opponent, they gave me somebody that he was a game fighter, going back and forth. You know, there ain't no excuses. I didn't do enough in the later rounds. So, but again, I just 140. 140.
We still got power right here, man. Power, baby. Solid.
Y'all smart?
No. We know each other from the amateurs. Coming up here, I've been boxing since 2013.
So why are you fighting in Mexico? That's the only
So
opportunity you have.
no, it wasn't directly the only option. It's you know, me and my team, my coach is Kenny Kroom's brother, Carl Kroom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you know, Carl is, you know, he's starting off. He's learning as we go. So
You can't learn with your record.
exactly. So and now we see. So we're not in Mexico no more. We ain't dealing with Mexico no more. So that was a learning experience, and you know, it's no excuse on that. You know. So.
Sir, what about you?
My name is Lyle Williams. I'm from Sacramento, California. I was boxing in the military for about like 3 months.
Thank you, sir.
Oh yeah, thank you. But you know, over there it's more about the job come first. You can't really be into boxing as much as you want to. So I decided to move out here in Southern California. I met our coach, and I've just been grinding ever since. I plan on doing amateurs next month. I'm ready to take over like heavyweight division.
That's right. Dedicated. Good luck with all that, Kenny. Y'all stay focused. Y'all in the right hands, you know. Y'all around Shawn Porter. That's great.
How did that happen though?
Okay.
How did that happen?
Yeah, I had I was invited by Henry Tillman. Henry Tillman used to be my coach, so I used to fight with him. For like 2 years at his gym he had in Carson, and he invited me, came in, and you know, I seen Shawn Porter, and me and my boy knew we can't just approach, you know, certain people, so we came to his bodyguard first. We knew, because at first he told me, he was like, oh, Shawn Porter, I'm about to walk. He said, you can't just walk up. He was commentary. Yeah, look, he was commentary, so I'm like, he's like, you gotta go to the bodyguard first. The bodyguard ended up snatching you up. You know, and I didn't know. He had the stroller, so you know he was winning. He was in dad mode, so I didn't know he was the bodyguard. But
I do the show for Shawn, but you know,
and like I had told Shawn, you know, you could tell he really worked, because he get in there and just, you know, he'll spar anybody. He sparred my cousin Ronald Mixon, and he was like, wait, who? Yeah, he was like, who is that? I showed him. He was like,
Ronald Mixon?
Yeah.
Ronald Mixon, by the way, is like 6'4",
6'4", 105, light heavyweight. Yeah, he he was the reason why I got into boxing.
That's shout out to Ryan. He played on our league team before too.
Yeah, yup.
And then my man Dre got his 2 boys on the end, and you got my man right here. His people
My
out here
bodyguard.
in the back reached out to me.
My bodyguard reached out to
Yeah.
your
And you know, sometimes all it takes is, like these guys will be on for a couple of minutes. These couple of minutes can change their whole life. A little advice they can give from me and Shawn. Because somebody helped me, like I said, Shawn, look, I tell Barack this when I met him. Shawn didn't have to put me on the show, he did. I'm his friend, I could have done other things. He didn't have to waste his time with me. He gave me opportunity. I want to give other people opportunity. That's what it's all about. Somebody opened up a door for me to get somewhere, I want to open up a door for somebody else. And if it's just me a second to help those guys, it is what it is. I want to, whatever you guys take from this moment, take from this moment, use it. You can ask Shawn something, you ask him the business side, just absorb stuff.
Yeah.
Just always keep an open mind. You don't know everything. You're young, got a long ways to go. So that's one thing I know about the sport. A lot of people think they know everything. You don't. You got a long ways to go.
We in the era of, especially in our generation, the know-it-all era.
Yeah.
A lot of our, even homies that I know that I'm talking to, they be like, oh yeah, I'm like, that's why I hang with all older people. You know, they think they know everything.
The thing too is like, I noticed that with the older generation, sometimes like, they kind of be hating like, cause you know, it's all about the money. The only way you gonna grow is you invest time and knowledge into your youth, and then sometimes they feel like they don't want to get out their position, so they try to like, oh nah, I ain't teaching, I ain't passing no game.
Well, sometimes it's intimidation.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? If they feel like you guys are coming to take their spot. You know what I'm saying? We dealt with that in the industry that we in. We host a show on the zone, a boxing show. So sometimes, you know, these older guys that we looked up to at one time, they thinking that you black is not many of us doing it and making that much money in the industry, that you coming to take their spot. You know? But meanwhile, I think God has a lot of opportunities for everybody in boxing. There's so many different lanes. You just got to create your own. But if you feel intimidated, you're going to start hating on the younger guys coming up.
There it is.
Sometimes.
I think where I come from, you give it. If you got it, you got time, you give it. You know.
There's some dudes when I come, on the street, there was dudes. Even though I was like, whatever. I was a terror out there. But there were dudes who were above me who would try to put me under my wing. Not that I needed it, but that's what OGs are supposed to do. Like, yo, G, you good? School's all right. And in my mind, like, you crazy? Are you good? Like, but when I got older, I was like, oh snap! So I was under his wing. So maybe some of that respect was given to me. You know what I mean? I can respect that. You know what I mean? I can respect that, and that's why I always try to give back to you. Like,
I mean, is it any other than like, you know, what y'all just told? What is like the number one, you know, stronger advice if someone like us is trying to get to our goal? What is like the how can I put it? What is the code? Like,
how do you get there?
How
can I get there?
Yeah, how can I get there? And
I'm gonna put this off on these guys.
I played professional baseball before we transferred over to the boxing world. We've been around here our whole life, our policy, you know, we live it up. But I would say for me, it's a short-term memory. What that means is you have to be able to forget the good and the bad. I mean, you remember everything, but forget the bad quick. Because the longer you hold on to it, you're gonna end up doing something that you don't need to do, or put yourself in a position you don't want to be in. So I would say just try to stay positive, and if something doesn't go your way, you know, leave it where it was, move on. You don't always have it with you, but don't sit on that too long.
And cry with
That's stuff that I do.
Yeah, ain't too much. I second off that. Basically, just stay focused. That's all. Stay focused and believe in yourself. Keep believing in yourselves, and better yourself, you know. There's no, people tell you there's a blueprint on there. There's no blueprint.
Okay.
Just each
Shawn, say that.
He can tell y'all more than we can tell y'all. But
the blueprint only involves morals.
Believe in
If
yourself.
you listen to what they're saying, these are morals.
And I like what he said forget the bad and the good.
He got
you can't stay on that high horse too long. Because Andre Ward said something recently when we sat down with him. He was like, you know, after a fight, even after a win, you know, me and Virgil used to sit down and they used to go over some of the good things, but forget about that. Let's focus on what we did wrong and fix it. We don't stay high on the good things. That's not good either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a great point with it. You forget all of it and on to the next.
And obviously in this sport, take care of your body, take care of yourselves, you know. Really just stay focused, take
I
care
feel
of your
like
body.
kind of in a weird position sometimes, like after a big fight, even after like a good performance, it's like, okay, what's next? You know what I mean? Like not you know what I mean? Having that team also to kind of like, okay, steer you in the right direction, that guidance.
Right.
But on another note, man, y'all probably already talked about it, but these upcoming fights, man, you got Ryan Garcia tonight, which we sparred. Arnold Barbosa.
Yeah.
I sparred him too, and then Messiah just fought. I've been in the ring with all of them, so.
That's hard.
So I mean,
This is advice y'all probably know. Don't eat too much in between fights.
Kev, right there, I want to do this real quick because the thing that my dad taught me growing up was boxing is just like life. And I didn't understand that when I was young, but as I got older, I realized everything that I went through in the ring, it started to kind of like show itself outside the ring and vice versa. Then I get in contact with guys like comedians and rappers and things like that, and they telling me about the things that they've gone through, so on and so forth. It's like, you've never thrown a punch in your life, you've never sparred once, but your life is so much like mine, you've dealt with the same adversities and things like that. We got who I consider to be a very good comedian right there, Kevin Tate. What would be your keys to success for these young men? What would you give to them based on your experiences?
Man, you know what? Be true to yourself first, you know, because a lot of times you're going to have a lot of conversations like this. You're going to have a lot of different opinions, you know, made up facts and stuff. So just being centered in who you are, man, like just being centered in who you are, man, and believing in your shit. I mean, if I told y'all, man, you know, my story is a whole nother book, but like really jumping out here, showing up in LA with $80, bro, from Detroit City, bro, and nowhere to go. You feel me? So that's just all belief in myself, bro. And y'all talking about boxing, I can't even fathom. I don't even play that slap boxing shit. That's too much. It's too much for me. You know what I mean? So for y'all to jump out there, it's just you in there, bro. So you gotta have what you call irrational confidence, and like, you know what I mean? And that's the only thing that's gonna get you through and being centered in yourself for real, bro.
You got something there?
Nah, man, you know me, I'm all about positivity. I speak it, I believe it, that's my thing. No matter what you're going through, somebody else would love to be in your position. And they always got it. And there's somebody that has it worse than you. So be positive, man. Stay focused at all times. Shawn knows all the time. I'm always happy. I start my day off with something funny. Either listen to this guy on Chocolate Sunday for something violent or something positive. I don't want to hear nothing negative to start off my day. Positivity. Keep pushing. We all been through hell. We're not going back. We want to push forward. Keep going, man.
And I just want to say, when you just saying that, it took me back to just this year, January 7th, my mom died, right? So when she died, I had a fight coming up, right? I think I fought, what was it, March 26th. So I had that whole month tug of war, like. So I ain't gonna lie, it was the hardest shit I ever done, like, to where you gotta come in the gym, and like you just said, your life reflects. So, you know, sometimes I'll be angry, but then I'll be like, Mama ain't gone, my mom gone, but then it kept fucking with me. So, you know, when I had that fight, like, it was the hardest shit. I really dug deep, I ain't gonna lie. Because they didn't give me no bum. They gave me somebody the dude looked like Ryan Garcia, as I showed you. He's a big dude. And I'm like, at 140, I'm like, oh, this not about to be easy at all. And it wasn't, you know. So, you know, that had me reflecting, because I ain't gonna lie, I kind of forgot that moment of how I felt about that. And when you said that, kind of had me thinking that I gotta keep that in mind. You know, I gotta keep that in mind,
I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna end the episode. Our producer gotta get to the airport relatively soon. But boxer to boxer, my advice to y'all: Number one, be patient. And patience is something that the world gave to us without giving us the definition of it. You never know how patient you need to be. It's gonna be a fight that's gonna come up, and you gotta work. And you know I ain't got enough time to train for this fight. And then you're looking at what decisions you gotta make. Patience is gonna be tested right there. Do I take this fight or do I wait for the next one? You know what I mean? Do I force this fight and maybe the best happens in that fight, or maybe the worst happens in that fight? You know what I mean? Be patient with your decision making, in the business side of it, the training side of it, who you choose as your team. The list goes on. Work hard. Again, the world gave that to us, but didn't really give us a definition. People think if I go to the gym at noon and then I leave at midnight, I worked hard today. I would tell people it didn't matter how long I was at the gym. What matters is what you do while you're there. You don't have to be the first one to show up and the last one to leave. That's cool, but what did you do when you was the first to show up and the last to leave? Was that real hard work, or was you sitting down, chilling and talking and messing around and things like that? I worked hard, and no, I don't talk to nobody when I'm doing my thing. But if I only did my thing for 2 hours, it was 2 hours. If I had a sparring session and I did 3 rounds, my dad got in and he was coaching and said, that's it, we done for the day. Guess what? I only did 3 rounds of sparring, but it was a hard day because everything that he gave me in those 3 rounds was just enough. Work hard, measure yourself, and measure when you feel like you worked hard enough. Don't overdo it, and definitely don't underdo it. Yeah. All right? And in the bottom line of it all, man, we fight with our heart. And that's why people love what we do. Because when you go out there and there's 12 rounds, people get to see how much heart you got. They want to see the speed, they want to see the quickness and the power and all those types of things. But everybody really waiting on that 11th round to come. They waiting on them championship rounds to come. You alright? So make sure you fighting with your heart. You giving it your all no matter what. What you did, my man, fighting through losing your mom and things like that, that's showing you have heart. In a moment like that, I would have told you to be patient and wait on the next one. We got to let this one go. We got to make sure you heal and you're ready for the fight. You know what I mean? It's neither here nor there. Moving forward, use your patience, be focused, work hard, and it's whatever you want is going to come. And like you said, you got to believe in yourself. Everybody, that's the Porter Way podcast, pre-fight show at the Barbershop. We want to thank Doc. Got us inside DK's. If y'all in Tarzana, y'all in LA, come on out here, check out Doc and get your hair cut. Marcus, the Watson brothers, Brandon, Aqua Rock, the Aqua Barak show on the Zone. And I don't even know if y'all knew Carson was here today. He made it almost all the way through the big gulp. We want to thank everybody, man. Appreciate y'all for opening up the doors, and we'll be back. God bless y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one.
Respect.
Yeah, let's do a group picture.